I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I want a way I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything. If I could see my dreams, make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go. Don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality.
I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this. I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once, I just so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, part of my downfall is toxic. Day one, started the outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode. My name is TradeFly, bringing you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. Happy New Year's celebration. Hope you guys didn't get after it too hard last night. I did. I hope you can't tell. I went hard in the paint. Had an opportunity to hang out with the fam, hit up some of my friends' house. It was a good time. It was a good time. We're starting off the new year right. But hey, we got to look at the charts. We got to look at the charts, man. There's some trade opportunities here. ADA, I saw this morning, had a nice little bounce. I haven't followed up with it since this morning, but I think about a 4 or 5% move when I had checked this morning. So pretty good move there. Looks like Bitcoin just kind of hanging out. We got some key levels we're going to look at. Up around about 90,000, I think is still going to be a hot spot for us to keep an eye on. I am expecting a little bit of price action out of that area. But hey, first things first, let's go over to the chat. Let's say what's up to all the homies out there. We got Out of the Trader. What up to you? Good to see you. We got Gear in here. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. And my man, Ada Ace in the house. What up, bro? Hope all is well with you. We got my man, FJ Trading. He's in here as well. Thank you for stopping by, brother. Go check those guys out, man. Ada Ace is doing big things in the space, in the NFT world. He's got a really, really cool project out there, but check him out. I'll let him drop whatever links he wants in the chat here. And FJ, my man, he's over in the Discord dropping those fire signals. I mean, talking about it. Hey, let's look at that. let's take a look-see at that. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Let's go over to FJ Spot. You know what? Let's show him some love here. See what he's got going on. See if he's posted any of his winners here. He's got all the setups. I'll give you guys a little taste. I'll give you a little taste. Let's do that. Here's a little taste. Here's a freebie. Here's a freebie from the Discord right here. All right, he's got a setup. And look, he lays it out very, very nicely. Gives you guys your entry, your TPs 1 through 4, your stop loss, your risk to reward. He's laying it all out there for you guys, and he you know, he's got a very nice little system that he's using. Let's see if we got any. See if he's posted any of the flex. Where's the flexes at? Let's go check that out. Nope. He ain't got nothing posted in there, but that's all right. You can see some big winners. We got Mikey in there with a, what is it? Oh, that's $415. Nice win, Mikey. My man, look at you go. I had a nice little setup that I posted for you guys here. Put it on X actually as well. I felt it was one of those high conviction plays, 12.92%. That was a nice little short for Bitcoin. And we're going to be looking at that area again. You can see my entry was about 90,100. I was ahead of this one, man. I was able to just put limit orders in there, and we can talk about that a little bit if you guys want. Look at Rashad banging out a 75% winner, 25%, 107%. So, I mean, there's all kinds of action going on in the Discord, guys. Just come on over, check it out. No premium. All right. So, only thing I'm asking you guys to do is just sign up for a 2-bit account, and I'm not taking anything. I'm actually giving you 20% back on your trading fee. So, it's a win all the way around to get access to everything that we have in the Discord. If you guys can see here on the left, you get access to my stuff. Most of my stuff, there ain't no point in charging because I give it to you guys on YouTube. So what I do is I just take most of the stuff from YouTube, put it over here. But there is going to be additional TA and signals from myself. But then, hey, Alex O stops by every once in a while, drops a little bit of TA. Crypto Squid's got TA signals. We got FJ. We got HRJ. Man, I mean, it's nice, man. It's really, really nice. So come on over, check it out, man. That's about as much as I'm going to shill it today. But again, it's all for the price of free, baby. You just got to set up a 2-bit account, and that'll give you access to all this. Let's go ahead, see what we got here on Watcher Guru. Do a little scan in here. Says, welcome to the golden age. All right, that doesn't tell me much. See, Iran offers to sell advanced weapon systems. All right, I'm listening. Ballistic missiles, drones, and warships to foreign governments for crypto. FT reports. I wouldn't be surprised if that's already happening. Let's be real. I would be willing to bet that there is already an exchange between nations, and they probably use crypto. It's probably, I know we say everything's traceable with crypto, which it is, but it's also you know, a way for you to quickly exchange money, and you know, kind of still is. There's still ways to kind of be off the books, no doubt about it. All right, let's go over to the crypto bubbles real quick. It's green out there. Ooh, look at FTN fast token up 115%. Now that's crazy. Really nice move for FTN. 8 is up 6.2%. Mentioned that earlier. We got Filecoin up 17.6%, ICP up 11.5%, PayPay with a nice little bounce to 15.2%. A lot. Oh, look at AVAX. AVAX at 8.3%. So we got a lot of good movers. Hype moving in the wrong direction, man. Ain't no hype behind that. Good night is down 1%. What else we got here? XMR down 4.3%, BCH down 1%. So, you know, there's a couple things that are divergent, but those are the things you do want to pay attention to. That's why I look at the bubbles. I just want to see what's not moving with the market. And sometimes that'll tell you, I'll give you a little bit of a hint on what's going on. And then when you see a reversal in the market, a lot of times those things will move exponentially, and they might get they'll get hit a little bit harder. All right, market cap is up. Still flirting with that 3 trillion area. We're at 2.99. Fear and greed index is at 31. Still in the fear. Altcoin season has bumped up a little bit. I think last time I looked at altcoin season, it's at 16. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It ain't here, baby. It's Bitcoin for now. Bitcoin currently sitting at 88,216. That's up 1.07%. Ethereum not moving all that much. That is at 29.90, and that is up 0.95%. Let's see, the dominance is at 58.9, so that's good for the altcoins, right? Bitcoin dominance is going down a little bit. That is good, and I think that about does it for this one. Let's go over to 2-bit. All right, don't care about that. Are you really gonna make me log in? No, really? All right, hold on one second here. I gotta log in. This is gonna take me just a minute. Wait, why I gotta log in every time? This is bananas. I didn't have to do that before. All good. All good. We'll get there. In the meantime, hey, use this code. You guys can save 20% on your trading fees, both spot and futures. That's my official exchange that I use. Again, that's how you get access to the Discord as well. So let's go ahead and put all this in. Maybe I can do skip login for the next 30 days here. Yes, I will complete your puzzle. This is bananas. Bananas, bananas, bananas. And all right, cool. Almost done. Almost done. Completely unprofessional, yeah? All right, we're in there. We're in there. We're going to go ahead and do the daily degen, though. All right, we'll get that out of the way here. Let's see what you guys are voting on right now. So if you see this vote, right? It says daily degen, Moon or Doom. It's basically giving you guys, the audience, the opportunity to vote whether we take a long or a short position. It's fake money. I just go over to the what is it? The paper trading, the demo trading they call it. There you go. There we go. And we're just gonna send it. You guys pretty much broke even on the last one. Move stop loss entry. It came back, tapped stop loss. So nothing too crazy there. But we're gonna put 1,000 in. Again, this is not how I trade. 20x leverage Bitcoin and $1,000. You guys want to go? It looks like long. Let's do it. We're gonna send it. Let's see here. I'm gonna put this at 88.2. Oh, hold on, that's profit. Put that at 88.6. It just gives me something to work with so I can move the bars around there. 88.200. Cool. We'll go long. 20x. Order requested. We're gonna demo trading. What needs to be requested there, fam? What is this? That for some reason did not take. That's kind of weird. All right, let's do no TP. Order requested. It's taking the money though. What in the heck? Oh, they're on there. What is it? Filled. I am completely miffed. I'm not gonna lie. What the heck? All right, so their paper trading is not cooperating today. No biggie. Watch it. It'll just randomly take them. All right, let's just go back. I don't care. We'll use real money. We'll just put 5 on it. You know the deal. All right, so I do have a position open on SPX right now. That is up 7%. Not a lot of money. That was a small play that we took from the Discord. We were looking at it, and it was like, man, this thing is kind of like flatlined, almost like bottomed out. And I was like, why not? Why not take a flyer on it? Not a whole lot of TA behind it, to be realsies with you, but up 7.66%. So not too bad. It's been profitable pretty much the entire time I've been in it. I think maybe it was down a little bit yesterday, but it's popped back up. And then I think I had a bot running as well. Let me see here. Got some open orders. Maybe I have to go to somewhere different. Oh, there it is. A bot. That's all right. I'm not stressing that right now. It's been profitable, I can tell you that. Let's go back to Bitcoin real quick. Look, you guys you're already missing out, right? Nice little bounce there. 2-bit, you're playing games with me. All right, let's put 5 on it. That's how we're gonna roll. We'll go 20x. Again, not normally how I trade. We don't do hardly any TA on this. We just go with what you guys want to do, and then we go back and kind of check it out after the fact. All right, 5 isolated 20x. Just kind of doing a sanity check real quick before I send this thing. Bada bing, bada boom, it's in. All right, now the nice little update that 2-bit did was this right here. We can now slide it to the left. one hop this time. There it is. TP set. And stop loss is set. And we'll just let this thing run, man. We'll come back and check it out at the end of the show or towards the end of the show, or I'll give you guys an update on whether it's going up or down. But again, minimal TA. This is like a sentiment-based trade. Now, part of it, like kind of the important part is trying to show you guys, like if you get too wrapped around, like, you know, getting too deep into the TA, like you don't have to be the best at TA. One of the biggest parts is risk management, right? So set up a stop loss, set up a TP, and then when this thing gets profitable or if it pushes up, hey, let's go ahead and get that stop loss to entry. And, you know, I can go back and show you guys the data. Like you have a pretty decent hit rate just by voting on the daily DJ. It's kind of crazy, but it proves a point in my mind. One, risk management is key, and two, you know, you don't have to get tied around all these indicators. They're nice, they're helpful, but you don't have to. All right, let's look at the economic calendar real quick. Fight with hunger, fight hunger. All right. Let's see here. Let's go 3 stars, see what's actually important. All right, I'm not too stressed until the 9th. That's really, I mean, you got Jolt's job openings. That's gonna be on the 7th, but really, you got your non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. You got a lot going on the 9th. That'll probably shake the market just a little bit. But really, I'm not deep diving. Just letting you know, hey, this is on the calendar, so pay attention. All right, it could create a little volatility. But again, you know, I talked about it last time. Like you think the data, like you think you understand the data, and you're like, oh man, this is bullish or bearish, and it ends up doing the opposite anyway. So you just know that's out there. All right, let's go to a liquidation heat map. You guys know I like that. And there you go. So you're starting to build a hotspot heat, man. There's a lot of, I mean, there's liquidity all over the place on the 3-day. Getting a hotspot around 89.40, get another hotspot, really, I mean, below, right below. So it's, I don't know that you could say like it's going to be a magnet here on the 3-day. Let's go to the 1 month, zoom out just a little bit. Sorry, this is probably going to be behind. There we go. Man, this thing's pushing up, huh? I'm going to reload that real quick. I mean, I like this heat map the most, but it is sometimes a little janky. Let's just refresh the whole page. Nothing's cooperating today. There you go. This is what I wanted to show you. All right. So you can see on the monthly for the heat map, right? You got just over 90K. All right, about 90,650 now is really your hotspot. It starts building at about 9350 or so, but I mean 90,650 is really where it heats up. So let's take note of that, and then we'll come over to the charts, right? How does that look on the charts? Yo, let's see who we got in here. We got DDT, what up, man? Lurking in the background. Nate the Great, how you doing, bro? Outer gang. I'm just gonna call you Nate, man. Dr. Goat. Look at the 30-minute AVAX. Market cipher B. Sure. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't typically use market cipher all that much, to be honest with you, but we will look at it. Let's see. We got Scar just going, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. We got my dude Hal Jr. Oh boy. Man, you know, I need you. I need you so you can read this stuff, man. You wild. All right. See, I can't even say all that. Can't even say it. Fill it up. Mine is clear. TradeFly in the house. Let's go. Happy New Year, y'all. LFG, dump it. That's one thing I can read every time. He's always calling for the dump it. All right, so what did we say? We said about 90,600, I believe. So it's close enough, right? We got 650 labeled. All good. We can update it. The whopping $50 there. It ain't gonna change much, but all right, cool. So here's what I'm looking at. And I was looking at this before. Let me update my CVD indicator real quick. Focus. Boom. All right. So that's starting to go horizontal. on the daily. Let's see what it's doing on the 4-hour. Bada bing. Now we gotta update that again. It's the only thing about CBD, because it's infinite, right? So it doesn't hit its head. Either you gotta restart it every day, which looks weird, or you just gotta play the Zoom game, which is a little annoying, but it's one of my favorite indicators. All right, so looking on the 4-hour, you can see where liquidity's sitting. You can see the value area high. You can see the 50 SMA. Now, this is the daily 50 SMA, so understand that. All right, this is the daily. Now, we've already hit on this once, right? We came up here, came right, I mean, the liquidity was sitting like right there. Just dipped its toes right in, took it, and I had the entry right there. I think it was 90,100, right? 90,100. I put enough of a stop loss in there, you know, to kind of cover me, right? It was one of the few times I put a limit order in, and yeah, man, just wicked right in and caught that one perfectly. But this is kind of what I'm going to be looking for again, right? Like, this POC has been holding up for Bitcoin pretty well. You're starting to see CBD start to work its way up, you know, so that's good. I'm imagining a lot of the oscillators are probably starting to bend up at this point right now, right? Starting to probably build RSIs, probably working its way up. You got a high volume area node right there at the POC, right? So, you know, there was a lot of reason for this to hold fundamentally, well, I'll say technically, but now you're kind of getting a squeeze, right? So you got the POC and you have the 50 SMA, you have the value area high again, and this is the previous week pivot. Okay, so this was from 2 weeks ago, but it's still in play, and so for that reason I'm leaving it in. As well as you can see, there's volume associated with that area around 90,000, and it just hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. So I will be looking for, you know, if it moves back up to this area, if we get a wick up into that liquidity, and then you start seeing the candles start closing below the pivot again, I think the likely play there is probably going to be a short. You know, not against taking a long out of this. Like, if you're already in a position, not a bad play, right? Like, I wouldn't have argued with that. It's just you didn't get the liquidity sweep, right? So typically I like to see liquidity get taken off the table. That's kind of one of my entry criteria when I'm looking for an A+ type setup. But here, you know, that opportunity is there again, right around 90,600. So, you know, I'll be looking for that. I don't know that I would be as comfortable with putting a limit order on this one. But you know, I do think the opportunity is there if you start seeing that candle structure, you know, start to look a little bearish coming out of a rejection. All right, so if you get that rejection, not an impulse move. If you get an impulse move, man, you could be working your way back up to about 94K monthly pivot, clearing all this liquidity out, right? So I think it's going to make quick work of this if it does push through. Okay, so if you don't get the rejection out of this area, if you get like an impulse move, you get a nice large candle that moves to that zone, then you would be looking for a breakout retest, right? So you would look for it to come down and then start making its move. If it does that, if you see a breakout retest, I think it's going to be a pretty quick move up to the monthly pivot, take all this liquidity off the table, right? Like, just be done with it. And, you know, then that's when we kind of start the game over again, right? So again, you can look for a breakout retest of, I'd say, about 90,800. That could be an opportunity for a long position. I think I've already taken a picture of this. So let's get that out of the way here. But if you see something like this where it comes up, down, retest, and then you see continuation, you might see, all right, that continuation to the upside. But right here in this area will be the pivotal area to be looking for. And you, again, you can go both ways with it, right? You have a line in the sand, all right? It's very clear because you're looking at the price action. You see the rejections here, right? You see it here, and you see it here, right? And then that is actually where the value area high is, right? So I think that's a pretty defined line in the sand for us, where we can kind of, you know, formulate our bias based on the interaction with that level. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Let's look at the USDT dominance real quick. That is bumping its head on some resistance. No doubt about that. So the thing that you're going to be keeping your eye on right now is the 50 SMA has kind of been this trend that it's following right now to the upside. But just like Bitcoin, what you're starting to see is this horizontal movement. All right, so there's a consolidation, there's a range that's formulating here. So what that means is, hey, like if you're say a Bollinger Band guy, that you're kind of getting that tightening, and you're looking for a breakout here, I would say soon. You're looking for a move, right? And if it breaks to the downside, understanding that inverse relationship between USDT dominance and Bitcoin, if you get a break to the downside, then you're gonna look for a pop on Bitcoin. And then it's a matter of saying, okay, where are we at in relation to Bitcoin's move, right? Let's say, for instance, all right, let's say for instance that Bitcoin does get a move to the upside. All right, we push up to this upside here. Let's say we push up to our original area that we were looking at about 90,000, we'll just say 600. Do you come over to USDT dominance? And do you see it coming down to this zone right here at about 5.8 or even the range demand, but anywhere around here, then you're starting to look at it, well, damn, like, are we gonna find support, right? And that would kind of give you a little bit more of a bias to take that opportunity, that short opportunity, if it pushes up into the zone and you see, confluence between the USDT dominance, as well as even the total market cap. So you can look at that as well. Hey, if you push up and you're getting up to, the top of this zone and the 50 SMA, it's like, it's on everything right now. That is just rearing its head everywhere. You are getting an uptick in CBD, which is good for total market cap. So, but if you push up and you're starting to flirt with this, as you can see, volume right here as well, right? You see that gap? So you could get a quick push up, got some volume right there. But if you see confluence between the three charts, man, that's one, if you're in a long, you start thinking about exiting the long. And two, if you get to that zone and you have confluence and you see that rejection for Bitcoin, then that kind of would give you a little bit more, of a warm and fuzzy that taking that short, has a good probability of playing out. So, same though. Got your line in the sand at about 3.04 trillion or so. And then if you get that breakout retest, then you're looking for that. Let's put it here. Boom, boom, and then you would probably push all the way up, right? And I think same thing. Probably be a rather quick move to the upside here. And then you're looking at somewhere around 3.17, 3.2. You can see where volume's coming in there, but then coming back left on the chart and being like, okay, what have we seen from the price action in terms of support, resistance, right? And this is why I have that shaded color right here, because that's an area that I would be looking for a rejection. Okay, so that is that. Let's see what you guys got going on the chart, man. Not on the chart, the chat. French Toaster, what up, dude? Good to see you, man. Can you look at Arrow? Yeah, I can look at Arrow. Let's see. Happy New Year to you. And my man Squid's in the house. What up, man? Who we got? Is it Simon Davis? Happy New Year, man. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's start looking at the stuff you guys are asking about. AVAX. Look at AVAX. We shall look at AVAX. I have a vested interest in AVAX. I do hold some. That's a nice move for AVAX, bro. Good lord. All right. Looking for a short. I can see the argument. Yeah, I could see it. I could see an argument for sure, right? If you're looking at the CVD, right? This looks distinctly different than some of the other ones we've been looking at. A lot of them are starting to kind of make higher highs, higher lows, or making higher highs. On the CVD, where this one is not. All right, you got a quick uptick there. I think it probably just got to an area that people were comfortable buying. 12.28 on AVAX, like that's not. I don't think too many people are going to be mad about accumulating AVAX at 12.28. Let's just come back left on the chart here. Let's see if we've been here before. Yeah. So you can see just coming back left on the chart here, that has been a level that's been respected previously. Both support and resistance. I love looking at the horizontals just to kind of kind of develop the picture a little bit, but you can see that, right? See that, support, support, resistance, resistance, and then finally, boom, gone, see you later. Let's go back to the 4 hour though, and take a look-see. Yeah, I mean, coming up to the 618, coming up to the 50 SMA, coming up to a high volume area right there at about 13.49. I mean, I could see the argument for it, but you got to be careful. Would I take a short here? It's kind of tough, man. And the reason I say it's kind of tough is, what do you think the North Star is doing right now? What do you think Bitcoin's going to do? You think Bitcoin's going to continue to push? Or do you think it's going to go and lose the POC? And I would say right now, the pressure is kind of starting to push to the upside. So do you want to fight Bitcoin? I don't know, man. Are you looking for a scalp? If you're looking for something quick, then I could see that, right? Get a little rejection out of here real quick. Come back down to, you know, right about here, which is about 13.24. And you got some volume in that area. I mean, for me, I would be keen on this area way more. Because what you have right here is when there's shorts coming in, liquidity comes up, takes that liquidity, leaves that, takes that liquidity, but leaves that, right? So boom, 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 and then you got your move to the downside. So the last time that, you know, this has been tapped into is all the way back here, and that is mid-December. So you have some liquidity that's sitting on the table here that's kind of ripe for the taking. You know, I would be more excited personally about a short, but I'm not a huge scalper. I prefer intraday. But coming up here, taking this liquidity off the table, and when you do that, then coming back down to these lower levels here, you know, for a retest before you see that continuation. Let me see here. Like I said, I'm not a big market cipher guy, but I think I got market cipher in here. I'm assuming you're looking at a lower time frame. What's your time frame, bro? The 30-minute is past the 100 line. I'm seeing a 10-minute in sells at these levels. The hourly is almost touching the top of the overbought bar. Got you. Let's look at... Man, I don't even have... All right. Let's look at the 30-minute. Yeah, it's kind of tough, man. Let's look at Market Monkey terminal here. Let's see if they might have AVAX on there. All right, Binance futures. Let's clean that up a little bit. Open interest spikes, that makes sense. But look at the CVD. This is important. Like, you're still not breaking the CVD. So this would actually fit your narrative if you're looking for a short, right? CVD spiked and it still wasn't even able to like make a higher high. Let's see if you got some orders filled here. You did. You got some sell side orders as well, right there. Now, for me, like, whew. Yeah, you had some big orders on there. I mean, relatively speaking. I don't know why that keeps going on and off. I gotta like keep zooming in. But 60,000 AVAX. But then you got some coming in, you know, you got some buy side as well. It's weird how it just keeps like popping on and off. So you got some orders underneath of you. Let's go over to the DOM. See where some of your bigger orders are. 80. This is still in Bitcoin, so it doesn't actually update the charts on the right here. That's unfortunate. All right, hold on 1 second. My fire alarm is going off in the house. Let me see what's going on. Give me 1 second. I'll get you a 3 minutes so you can see something move. Let me go check that out real quick. BRB. That's what happens when you let a 14-year-old cook, man. Burns everything. All right. AVAX. Let's go back to that. Yeah, man. I mean, I think you could take a flyer on it. I wouldn't be totally against it. Big thing is you know, make sure you're protecting yourself in terms of putting a stop probably right over where you got that rejection. Man, look at the money flow on that. No, that's on the 3 minute. Let's go to 15. Yeah, that's taking off, bro. That's crazy. I wonder if some news came out about AVAX. Look at the volume that came in too. That's wicked. So the thing that you got to be careful with, and not saying like, yeah, it's a lot of times you'll see a little bit of a pullback after a move like this, but like, don't get too wrapped around these oscillators. All right. Like, if you're looking at these oscillators, understand they're oscillators. Okay. And that's the scary part, is they have to go to a top. They have to. And that's kind of why I like CBD personally, because, you know, it doesn't top out. Right? It's kind of infinite. So when you go to look at that, right, this gives you a more clear picture of, yeah, okay, like, definitely, you know, buyers came in, but overall, when you're looking at CBD, you know, what's that showing you? You know, so that looks yuck for AVAX. But it's your first sign of hope, I guess. But I would say, I guess this is more from a long perspective. So again, this actually fits your narrative of taking a short versus taking a long. As you're seeing that continuation really so far. But yeah, man, I wouldn't be against a short. It's just a little bit different than I would look at in terms of like, hey, like if I got to move, if I was looking at AVAX in particular, if I got this crazy move up and I knew liquidity was sitting right here at 13.2 and I got a rejection, right? So it comes up, it takes liquidity, and then we get a nice wick back down. That for me would be like, yeah, short this. Because that's telling me that, hey, it went up, it swept the liquidity, came back down. So I could see it coming back down here, maybe to this high where you got the rejection and then getting a bounce out of there, right? So come down, retest, and continuation might be in play here for AVAX. So I wonder if January 1st has anything to do with it. Everybody offloaded going to the end of the year, taking their losses, right? Because a lot of people are down hard on some of these altcoins, right? Like big time. Like I even thought about it. I was like, you know what? Like I have two positions open. I have one for AVAX and I have one for Cardano. And I was like, you know what? I might just take the tax benefit, right? Sell them and then just buy them right back. Why not? Right? And do a little tax loss harvesting. But I ended up staying in those positions, and now, pretty nice moves for a couple of these assets just today. Yeah, man, I would say it's there. It's there. You could, I just don't, like, for me personally, I don't know that I would take it. But again, I think coming back down here, retesting the top of this area here at about 13.20 makes a lot of sense. So if you're staying in this pretty quick, if you're just scalping down, it's reasonable. Totally reasonable. Where you at this point? 2%. So it just depends on the leverage you're using. Do. Yeah, dude, AVAX got beat up. It got beat up, man. All good though. All good. I think AVAX will be around. It's one of those ones that has utility. That's why I'm okay with, I've been very clear, like, hey, like I'm cool with taking a little bit of a drawdown, and I can ladder into it and lower my cost basis. To say realistically that Cardano is not going to go to like 50 cents again, like I would say it will. It's going to go to 50 cents before it goes to zero. And then for AVAX, let's zoom out a little bit on that. Right now I'm just kind of looking at this trend, right? You are seeing you got this very clear series of lower highs, right? You're almost kind of forming a channel that goes down. Maybe not so much a channel. Getting a little bit of a squeeze there. This is actually a bullish pattern. If you're into the patterns, that would be bullish, but I wouldn't fight it past probably around 27. So, ladder into the position, because I'm down here, right? Ladder in, take it up to about 27, and then just take that dub. Now, if you get the breakout of this resistance, this trend line here, then cool. Like, you can get back in, you can play the game some more if you want, but this will prevent me from round tripping, right? So, I'll take these positions down here. Eventually I think it'll move back up. When it does, I get out, I take that profit, and I look for the next thing. But yeah, it's kind of how I'm looking at AVAX right now, like from a more macro perspective. Let me get rid of this one. We got going on with the CVD here. What's this, the daily? Yeah, daily's still kind of to the downside, right? So that kind of aligns with what we're seeing on the Market Monkey terminal. CBD kind of working its way down. I think, yeah, you're going to get a nice rejection here. Probably looking at the 50 with this high volume area. If that kind of maintains, you get a nice push up to 20. See, this is more something I would look at. Just given like my work scenario, right? So I work a 9 to 5. So what I'm looking for is like these high conviction plays. And at about 20, where you see all this volume here, you have 50 SMA, you can already see like some horizontals that would align. You know, that would be something that would interest me. Faux show. Like, look at this. See support, see rejection, really reject it, and then continuation to the downside, right? That lets you know that that's a pretty key level right there at about 28.2. So, you know, look around like 20 for me. If you're looking for like I said, a higher conviction play in terms of a short, I think you'll come down and, you know, retest some of these lower levels here out of that. So let's see if we can kind of nail that down though. And let's do a fib real quick. So if you're taking from high to low here, does that align? Yeah, 382. Hell yeah. So, right, when you're talking about a technical area for bullish continuation, right? So we're just flipping it. We're just flipping it now because right now the trend is showing us, you know, it's going down. So you're flipping the fib and you're saying, okay, cool. Like if I were to come back and retest this level, what's the probability that you would see continuation, you know, this in this direction to the downside? And I would say likely 0.32 is like that technical area that you would look for that bounce if we were saying an uptrend, come down, retest 382 and keep going, right? So you got the 50, you got the 382, you got volume, you got horizontals that align as well. You know, I like that area in terms of looking at a short. So look for that wick coming up there at about 20. So you'll see that wick push up, take some whatever liquidity is left up there, which is actually should be a good bit. Should have some liquidity in that area, right? Wick, come down, reestablish below, and then you can look for that short down. You know, it's just a matter of like how far do we take that down then? And that would be the part we'd have to figure out. You know, if you're looking for a swing, then you're trying to take it through, you know, that gap there. If you're looking for a quick in, out, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, intraday type deal, I think you can take it down to about 18.57. Looking at that, is that worth? Yeah. That's almost a 10% move. And you can see kind of volume pick up there as well. So, you know, that'd be something I would look for personally, right around 20 for AVAX. If you're looking for a good short, let's go ahead and let's mark that. We say right there, right? That's probably one of the more clear horizontals in terms of price action. About 9%. All right, and then so this is just getting ahead of it, right? Like this does not have to be the end all be all in terms of like the wick has to be right there. Like it's just like, can we get a 2-to-1? Kind of a starting point. And if you get a wick into this zone, yeah. Again, this is not one I would put a limit order on. You would have to see the price action once it gets up here and interacts with that level. So you go down to your 15 minute, your 30 minute candle closes, and you start evaluating at that point, right? But I'll tell you one thing, man, you get a continued push up for AVAX, and you keep getting the CBD working its way down. Yeah, man. I mean, your bias would still be towards shorts, and you know that's what I would kind of tell a lot of people right now. Is the market has still been moving to the downside, right? So, you know, the bias in terms of looking for your setups, you know, you should kind of stay with the trend. And, you know, I'd be mostly looking for shorts, right? You get those big pushes up, taking liquidity, and then looking for those rejections until we break the trend. And so for Bitcoin, right, because Bitcoin's the North Star, we'll go look at that real quick. You know, I don't start flipping the narrative here for Bitcoin until we get over probably 98 to 100K. Now this will be your start, getting over the monthly, but you still got that squeeze. You got a horizontal level that you got to get through, and I just think that's a super key level. It's right around 98 to 100K for a multitude of reasons. But I don't get bullish. I don't flip the narrative in terms of like seeing, you know, a lot more upside for everything until we get over 98 to 100K. And then I'll be like, okay, cool. Like now the bias flips, right? Because you're seeing a change in the trend. And you're getting your first start of it, right? Because we were stuck in this channel. We've been stuck in this channel since the high. It goes back to October. All right, so that's 3 months of being in this damn channel. Finally getting your first inklings of like, hey, we're trying to break this 50. We're trying to get out of this. So we've gotten out of the channel. Now we got to break that 50, right? That's the next step. Then you got to break that monthly pivot. That's the next step. You know, all that stuff has to happen first. But what I do like here about Bitcoin Vice, you know, when you're looking at AVAX, is the CVD's going up. So that is a good thing. All right. 1 inch of rain in 30 minutes. Bro, you in SoCal right now? The weekly monthly pivots. Yeah, man. So we'll update that. All right, let's go through the quarterly. I gotta show it. There's your quarterly. So your quarterly right now is sitting at about 114.3. I don't see that being much of a factor until we break, like I said, 98 to 100. Oh no, it's updated. Look at that. So the quarterly is now sitting right at the area I was looking at, 98. So I think you move up there, we're leaning towards shorts. Glad you said to take a look at the pivots, right? So let's go to the monthly real quick. Let's take a look at that. I think all this updated on Sunday, yeah. So all right, monthly, that's updated now. So your previous month pivot was at 94. Your current is right about where we're at. Interesting. I think it's one of the times where you're gonna have to keep the previous two. Let's go ahead and we'll copy that. We'll move it up because I still think this is in play. So we'll just update it. And I'll just put a P in there. Lets me know it's previous. All right, so your previous month pivot, that's sitting at about 94. And then your current monthly pivot is sitting at about 88, 88.8. 888. Your weeklies. I'm gonna have to update those as well. All right, so that is right here. So basically right where we're at. And like I said, this one's the previous. I ain't gonna worry about this one too much. This one seems to be more of a factor for me right here. Just because you can see the horizontal price action, right? You can see rejection, there's liquidity, the value area high. There's a lot going on there. So I'm just gonna leave that. But now you got the monthly pivot that's worked its way down. That's interesting. I don't know that I'm gonna sweat it, to be honest. I think the reason is it's shifted down here is because we've consolidated. And when you consolidate in an area, what happens is the pivot points are gonna start compressing and moving towards each other. All right, so the ones that are still of more interest to me is where we've had that price action before, right? So at this previous month pivot is where we've had very distinct price action, right? We've seen very clear rejections out of that area. We know we have liquidity up there. So that for me just makes this a little bit more important in terms of marking it. Like this, maybe you can get a short off of it, maybe you can get a rejection off of it, but I think right now what's happening is just that compression aspect of having the consolidation of price action, bringing all of the pivots a little bit closer together. So, you know, I'm not going to get too wrapped around it right now, but this one I pay attention to. It's more so because of the price action, right? Like that's really the line that's saying I could take these pivots off, and they don't even have to be called pivots, right? I could just be like, hey, this is a horizontal level where, you know, there's likely to be a resistance based on the price action. So that's why I kind of keep them marked, but it does, you know, there's some, you know, technical basis for having the pivots. All right, cool. So we kind of updated the chart there. That's Gucci. Let's see. Somebody asked me to look at, was it Arrow? I believe it was Arrow. David B, what up, bro? Good to see you, man. Mikey said he's looking at ICP. Hey, Mike, it's been good to see you in the Discord, bro. You've been dropping a lot of charts, man. I appreciate it. All right, let's see what David B's got. Rumbelow. AVAX isn't going anywhere. ADA will come back, but like XRP, why wait? Getting something that actually moves. So are you saying XRP is gonna move? Are you saying like that's something I should look at? All right. Let's see. I think it was Arrow. Scrolling back to the chat real quick. Yeah, it was Arrow. Okay, cool. Yep. I'm going to look at it right now. Let's see. Yikes. That's never the way you want to start off technical analysis. Yikes. Looks a lot like AVAX, man, to be honest. You can get a nice pop though. Bring some of that price action in. You can see. You could. I mean, the door is open for a nice little pop. But the problem is you're like right at a. Man. You're right at a key level. To be like, if this is a retest of the bottom of the range, good luck. Good luck, man. That could be bad. So not somewhere I would take a long, personally, right? Like, look at this right here. See that gap? If you can get above, I don't even think the 0.786. I think you got to get above about 52 cents. 53 cents. And then you're looking, you know, hey, we break through with conviction, get that retest, and then you look for that continuation up right here, right? 50 SMA, you got volume. I mean, there's a lot lining up there. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Let's not get too soda strawed. You ever heard of the soda straw effect? When you're looking through a soda straw, you only get that little circle. So sometimes, you know, you got to zoom out, fight the urge to just kind of look at one little spot, come back, look at the horizontals. You know, is there, I mean, that one's a very clear right here. And what does that align with? That area right there. You had support and the breakdown, right? So there's a lot right there. You had resistance as well as support, really. And then you had kind of like retest continuation down. So there's a lot to like about that. I'd say about 65 cent area if you're looking for a rejection. So kind of samesies. Like, you get a breakout retest, I think you could take a long up. I would say front run it. Not going up to 65 cents, even though it could go up to 65 cents. But, you know, I would front run it, probably looking a little closer to about 61. So, I mean, that's a nice little move. But you got to break above this, you know, this high here. I'm not even really considering it. Right now, the way the fib is set up is a continuation to the downside, is what it's, you know, looking at right now, right? Because it's taking this from high to low. So right now it's looking for a continuation down. But if we can break and we get that breakout retest, you know, taking it up to, let's say, 60 cents, you could spot buy that, right? So you could take a really conservative play and you can look for, you know, about a 15% move up. And no one's going to be upset about taking a spot position and making 15%. And if you do, if you're such a degen that you have to use any kind of leverage, you know, 2x is just fine, right? A 30% move, you know, with 2x, like, that ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. And then you just protect yourself, because if you lose this, you know, if you come back down and reestablish the range below, then, I mean, you're just saying at that point, like, nah, man, like, I'm not going to play that game. So, but I mean, you can see it. You can see where the volume's at. You can see where it's not. And you got some pretty clear horizontals here. And again, the 50 SMA is kind of aggressively working its way down. Now that will go horizontal. Like, that'll start to arc, you know, out a little bit as price action comes up, right? That's how it works. So keep an eye on that. For Arrow right now, bias, you know, just looking at the price action, bias would still be for shorts. And I think this would be a great short if it moves up to this area. Like I said, you could take the long if you want it, but this, I say my primary that I would be looking at for Arrow right now would be a short out of probably about the 62, 60, maybe 60, 62 cents would be something I would be looking at. So now that we got all the marks on there, let's get all those out of the way. Nice little change of character right there. Let's look at about 58 cents. I think that's realistic. Keep it above the 50. Let's put it right here, top of the range. Yeah, that's only, man, it's only a 1-to-1, man. I don't even know if that's going to be worth it. Obviously, it can all change based on the wick. But that's tough. Like, you're not even getting up to where the bulk of the volume is. The only thing that you really have to hang your hat on there is the 50 aggressively moving its way down. So, like, this is going to have a lot to do with the wick, like, where it goes up. You know, if you're going to realistically be able to get a 2-to-1 out of it. It's one of those things. Mark it on your chart. Take a look at it once it gets up there. And just see how it interacts with that level. And if you get that aggressive, you know, selling pressure coming in, because that's not even going to make it up to here, you're going to actually have to look at lower levels, right? And that's, so that one's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I mean, I think it's doable. It's just going to have, it's going to be a lot to do with how that wick looks. Let me take a fib off of, right now this is a bearish AF chart. There's no way around it. It just looks nasty. But it's trying. It's trying. New year. Looks like people are interested again. Let's see what I want to do. A fib, yeah. So let's take the fib from here down. That gives you a little something to work with, right? You got the golden pocket around there as well. Assuming that this is the pivot. I mean, that adds a little bit, little something to it, having the golden pocket right there. Gives you something a little bit more to kind of hang your hat on in terms of placing your entry. So let's say we can be just above the golden pocket, come down to the high there, and so that's a little better. And you can see kind of the volume that comes in. That ain't bad. What does that give you? About a 13% move. All right, I'm gonna take a quick picture of that, just so we can remember. All right, let's see what else we got. TradeFly got the sauce. You know it, man. You know it. Steve Hickey, what up, bro? Happy New Year, man. Good to see you. Soda straw effect is good for spying. Gears in a short, my man. Let's I think we took a position. Oh no, that's not bad. It's only down 1%. A whopping 5 cents. We're getting crushed, guys. We're down 5 cents. You owe me. Yeah, but the SPX, that long's looking all right there, up 7%. Let's see. Let's go back. Look at the order book real quick. So this is kind of like my last sanity check before I take a position now. I was looking at the order book. Oh man. Like resets. That's annoying. It's all good. 200. See, I already know the deal. There it is. Cool. So let's check this out. See, this is interesting. Remember, we were talking about that 90K area, right? So I know we're backtracking a little bit here. We're talking about 90K. Well, look, there's already some orders on the books there. Now we'll see if that stays on, because that's a big piece of it. But one of the things you like to see when you see these orders is multiple, right? You don't want to just see one that just bounces around. You like seeing a heavy hand saying, okay, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, right? They're going to, you're making an assumption that this could be the same entity, but it's nice to see that tiered approach. That's kind of the way that, we'll say, smart money kind of gets into these positions. They don't just ape in at one spot. They'll kind of like tier into it. So I'm not saying it's institutional investment, but you know, it could be a heavier hand that is looking to, this is sell side pressure, right? So take that into account. Right around 90K, that kind of aligns, right? If we're looking at the heat map again, there you go, right? So you have people are going to get liquidated. This makes the market maker happy. The exchange is happy because they get some monies. And then these guys are, you know, waiting right here as well. So if you see this continuation, let's say open interest keeps kind of working its way up, and that is what it is. Nothing too crazy in terms of spikes, right? It's just kind of working its way up and right. But the CVD, if you start seeing that trail off, right, the CVD starts to work its way down as price action goes up. You see a divergence. That's going to solidify this area for me, right? Like I see a wick up, I take the, but I see the wick up, takes the liquidity off the table, and then we start coming back down aggressively. That's going to be a pretty clear sign for me, especially if you start seeing CVD working its way down as well, that, you know, I think that'd be ripe for a little short. All right, let's go back to Arrow. See what else you guys were asking for here. What am I using to see the orders? That's a Market Monkey terminal. I will post that in the chat. I'm trying to get an affiliate with those guys. Post in the chat real quick. I'm one of the few like people using it live, like in terms of like the crypto space. I don't know too many people that are using it, but this actually gives you you know, the data from the exchange, right? So like that's really important, you know, especially when you're looking at CVD. You want the most accurate data you can get, and you know, this is actually getting it from the exchange, which is really, really nice. And then you can see the orders that are on the books, also really, really nice, right? Like you can't get that from on TradingView. It's not possible. So it's almost like if you're trading actively, like for me, like it's almost going to be mandatory that I have two screens. You know, TradingView will kind of be my big picture. I'm looking at areas of resistance, support, whatever the case may be. That's why I kind of mark the liquidity. So you really need like three things for the way that I trade, but you can just mark it, right? It's one extra step in my life, which sucks, but I'll go to the liquidation heat map. I'll like make sure that the areas that I think there should be liquidity there are actually showing me that. Now that's an aggregate. You got to understand that. That's not, you know, actual data straight from the exchange, but it's close enough for government work. And so I'll mark that on my chart on TradingView. So then I have, okay, like I have my fib retracement levels. I have, you know, support, resistance, channels, whatever I'm looking at, whatever hotness is catching my eye at the time. And then I can set it up too. Like, is this going to be worth it for me? Am I looking at a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1? You know, I can start there. And then when it's like, all right, it's time like to execute, I take it over to Market Monkey Terminal. And that's going to be like my final sanity check of like, am I pushing the button? Right? Like that's going to be like my like last check before execution. So I think it's a really important tool. I would highly recommend it, and it's free. So like take a screenshot of the setup I have here and you can utilize this. Like, and so you only get down to the 5-minute. I think that's the most fidelity you're going to get, which is fine, especially for the way I take, because I'm intraday, right? So like I don't need it for scalping. So this is more than enough for me, and it has like two of the biggest things, you know, for me, and that's going to be the CBD, the open interest, and well, the DOM is really important as well, right? So there's a lot of factors in here, a lot of good data, as well as the order book. Dude, it's a phenomenal tool, and it's for free. So we'll see how long that lasts, but take advantage of it while you can, for sure. Let's see here. All right, I think you guys asked for something else. Don't do affiliates and won't be hounding them since June. They do affiliates. They just didn't affiliate with AlexO. Yeah, so I don't know if that's a change, but they literally just did it with AlexO. Like I'm on the Discord message with him. So they gave him full access and an affiliate. Let's see here. Yeah. So Jason, he likes using order books and order flow and all that stuff. Like he's been doing that for a long time. And you get a lot more data with the pro version, where you can actually see the volume associated with the candles as well, which is kind of nice. A lot of scalpers use that. That's the hotness right now, I guess. But yeah, I'm Gucci with what I got. All right, what else? There was one more that I think you guys asked for. Yeah, Filecoin is moving. If you guys are in the Discord, come on over, man. Like I said, it's free. So all you got to do is sign up. Just sign up for a 2-bit account, and like I'm giving you 20% on your fees. So come on over. Like, why not? Like I said, you're getting signals. You'll get all the charts. I'll post all the charts from the lives in there as well, so you'll have that. And I go live in the Discord too, usually twice a week, typically. So it's definitely, you're getting some extra content that other people are not getting, which is YouTube. All right, I am trying to find, there was one more I thought you guys asked for. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. I thought you guys asked for something else. I don't want anything to do with XRP. And that's from a former top 5% holder. That's wild. Dang. They print more than the Fed does. Joe, hope you're doing well, man. Old Trade Intuition, go check him out. He's got a channel as well. Go support everyone. Faux show. They did me dirty. I mean, Alex has got some pull in the space, man. Alex is he's growing, man. He popped in their chat. They're like, "Oh, legend on deck." So, I mean, he's got a little clout in the space. He's actively trading. I mean, why? That's a lot of exposure for them. You know, like I obviously, they didn't even really say much to me. So, you know, Alex, he's got some pull. You get 500 concurrent viewers, you know, every day. If he starts using Market Monkey Terminal, like that's going to be pretty good for business. Oh. But yeah, you put some hard work into it, I think. So they should hook you up. Let's see here. All right. Let's look at something else that I don't typically look at. I think I looked at Doge probably last week. How about H-bar? I haven't looked at H-bar in God knows how long. Not that I'm a big like fan of it or anything, but just something different. Something different. Yeah, looking a lot the same though, right? You know, retesting the lows of the previous consolidation here, the little range that you had. Man, like a lot of the charts are looking similar. I'll tell you what though. You know, we're starting to make that work where we could start working back up to the 50, right? We've seen it before. That you can get some really big moves out of that cross. Not always, but I mean, opportunity there, you know, to potentially get a nice little move. I just don't know how, like, the thing that I'm concerned with right now is that if you're a four-year cycle person, I mean, it should be some downside. I mean, that's if you're a 4-year cycle person. Q3 of this year of 2026, I can say this year now, Q3 of 2026 is really when you should see that turnaround. And there's some people that are kind of going dormant right now. They're like, you know what, I'll be back Q3, you know, because they live and die by the 4-year cycle. I mean, I respect it. No hate. This isn't good though for H-bar. See these right here? These bounces, support, cool, right in the same zone at about 12.6. Look at this. And look how it tried to hang on right there, samesies. So if you look right there, and then right here, and then it tried to hold, right? And it lost that. So who's going to be interested in taking along it? And I'm talking like a swing, or you know, holding on for a little bit longer. I'm sure as hell not taking along anywhere under that area. You couldn't pay me. You know, only if you're talking, you know, something quick. And even then, like the bias right now is to the downside. But if you get back above this area, right, and you would see you'd probably flip to 50 at that point, get on the top side of that, break back into the range. Hey, doors are open to see some potential move to the upside, or a potential move to the upside. You got some volume here. You got the 0.5 there, which, you know, I don't know that you're not laying any weight on that, because that's not really, you know, at that point you're looking at that in a different perspective. But still, it's a nice little line in the sand regardless. But you know, you see all that volume come in. I would say back up to about 14.2. So if you're taking, you know, a breakout retest from 13 to about 14.2, what's that looking like? Let's make it a little bit bigger. Say 13 to about 14. Yeah. So there's good potential in there, about 8%. But I think for me to be interested in longs, again, it's one of those like bias flip things, is that once we, have a change of character and you're starting to see it, get back into a previous range that was actually instrumental to the price action, that's when you start saying, okay, cool, like longs are back in play, and you start playing the game, in this area here between 13 and 14 cents for H bar. Right now, nosy gozies, your bias should be looking for shorts, because the trend is very clearly down. You could be looking for a short right here. Just kind of looking at this a little bit more. Just based off, okay, look here, cool. You see the volume, right? So you can see where it starts picking back up, right here where the 618 is, which is, again, like, it's not the way to look at it right now, because this is actually to see a bounce to the upside. But here nor there, the line is there, and it makes sense. Anywhere in that zone right there, especially around 12.8, you could look at a potential short, and you got the 50 kind of converging on that area as well. You put the stop loss just above, and then you look to retest the high of the range, and that'll give you pretty damn close to a 2-to-1. So that might be worth looking at, right? That has a lot to do with, obviously the wick as well. I mean, that could be, as high as a 5-to-1, or, better yet, let's just make it so it's pretty close. You got to incorporate fees, all that good stuff. So, some 2.19 is good enough for government work. Actually, if you want it, it's 2.12. All right, so 0.06 on both sides. So there you go, 2.12. Got it. Yeah, man. Down about, taking a short, down about 7%. That's not too bad. I think that's a nice little opportunity as well. Let me zoom out real quick. Let me see if I can tighten this up just a little bit. Bring that out. Cool. I'm gonna take a picture of that as well. Pop that in the Discord. So as you can see, like, most of what I'm looking at right now, like, is the bias is clearly for me towards shorts. You got to start seeing some, breaks of a trend, change of character, something that's going to give you some kind of bullish bias right now. Right now, you're flirting with danger a little bit with some of the long positions, just because, like, yeah, you're coming back down to retest this area. Like, is it going to hold? You don't know, right? Because right now it's showing us that it hasn't. It just keeps breaking down. So yes, nice bounce for the day. I'm sure that's good for a lot of your pockets, but doesn't necessarily mean all that much. Not yet. Okay, so looking at this, you're getting pretty damn close to flipping the 50 right now. Now, Ethereum looks a little different. I'd say there's a little bit more strength behind that. It's consolidated in an area. It's not, yes, it's stair-stepped, but the time frame on that stair-step is different for Ethereum than some of these other alts. You can see CBD, it's going horizontal right now, but overall you're seeing some higher lows, and you can see this trend line right here acting as support, kind of pushing you in, or adding a little bit of pressure to the upside, right? So, this is a little different. It's a little different. Now, problem being is, Bitcoin's got to move too. But if Bitcoin does continue to consolidate, the pressure for me, what I see or perceive is starting to build a little bit more to the upside for Ethereum. So looking for that breakout retest is what I had drawn on there. Let's see, put that here. So, see something like that, comes down, retest, got that move up. You can get a nice 2-to-1 there. 10% move, 11% move, well within play. You can bring that down a little bit if you want. But, the stop loss, you want to put that below this trend line, right? So that would be how you set that up. 2-to-1 is definitely in play with that. And that, 10% move. go back up to a pretty key level there at about 34 to 35. We've talked about that zone quite a bit. That's where you've seen a rejection already. So you're front running that rejection. You're front running any liquidity that might be up there. So that's, I think there's some potential with that. It's one of the few longs that I would be looking at right now. But you can see clearly the price action is different than some of these other alts. Man, I've been on for like an hour and a half. And what has Bitcoin done? Absolutely nothing. Let's look. What have you done, Bitcoin, while I've been on? Let's see here. 13:30, good old military time. Where did we start? At 12, right? Goodness gracious. You have moved $40? $40. Thank you, Bitcoin. Boring. No, not even. Hold on. Not even. That's the line right there. You haven't moved at all. Literally. Gosh, right where we started. I don't think that SFP, is that confirmed? It is on, oh, you're on the 3 minute though. I won't get too excited about that on the 3 minute. But it's retesting, right? Like it's pushing up, kind of retesting this area. That's good if you want to see it break. Look at that, ascending level of support, clear as day. Horizontal level of resistance, pretty clear. Your bias would be to kind of push through that area. That would be the bias. And then you start looking back up here, I'm telling you. Because I know there's a little bit of liquidity here, and there's a lot of bit of liquidity here. All right, that's in a positive. Let's go ahead and close this out for the daily degen. Only 1%. Crazy. Market close it. Ching ching. All right. SPX though, I'm staying in that. Let me keep that one open. I'm telling you, man, I'm looking at this short. This is one I would mark for sure. Mark this on your charts, 90K. Which is up here. And liquidity's up there. Kind of interesting though, you got those orders on the books. That's below where, so this is where we're saying the liquidity is in terms of liquidations. But you got orders on the books that are kind of tiered in. Almost like it's front running. But is that going to slow down? Is that going to slow down the maker? I don't know. I've seen it push through these orders and quickly come back though, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Like I said, I'm not going to put a limit order out there, but definitely keep an eye on 90K, push up, wick into that zone, and then look for a pushback down. And if you do get that pushback down, and like I said, just bounce it off your CBD, your open interest. Again, CBD, you want to see that working its way down as price action goes up, or it gets up here at least. And then that would probably be, where you can pull the trigger on that one. But there's just nothing right for the taking right now. Not on Bitcoin, at least. Gotta wait. Gotta be patient. Apple off its high. Dude, did it take my... I don't know what happened, but I had this channel marked out. I had TA on like a lot of things and it's gone. Just all wiped it off, man. See how CBD works for Apple. This would be interesting. Yeah, just up and right. Ain't no looking back. But yeah, we were looking at this. This is right here, literally off the top of the channel. So this extended way back. I believe it was just right through here, man. It was crazy. Like right off the top of the channel. It was almost like insane, like how close it was. But uh-oh. The wife is calling me. Let me see what she wants. That's funny. She's like, yeah, the traffic. It's so much better without traffic. I'm like, I'm live. Oops. All right. Cool. So, yeah, just looking at Apple real quick. I think we had a horizontal right about here. Well, you got the range demand. Let me see the 50. How instrumental has the 50 been? I think we had a lower trend line as well. It was like a channel that this thing was following. Let me see if I can recreate that real quick. 'Cause I think it wicked down below for a minute. Might have just been here. Yeah, that's it. That goes back to, so you're looking at it, you're like, oh yeah. That goes back to August of 2022. August of 2022. And look at that, man. Like, so we were looking at this area before it even came up there because we were just looking, you know, right here. It's just crazy that it wicked right off. And I mean, you're getting close to 300. A little psychological aspect to that. But this, man, look at the volume here. You got the volume. The trend line's really following kind of with the 50. And that's going to be, it's going to be different. That's probably going to be closer to the 200 because you got to remember the settings I have right now. Let me update that real quick. Settings, because it's got 300 right now. So let's do, where are we on the daily? So let's do 200. Okay. So that's going to be your 200 SMA. Now the 300, just so you understand, if you're on the 4-hour chart and you set 300 on the 4-hour chart, that will give you your 50 SMA on the daily, if that makes sense. So yeah, so you got your 200 here, kind of range demand. That might be a spot, man. If you're looking at Apple, if you care about Apple at all. Might be a spot. Let's do a fib. I think I had a fib on there too. Let's go from the low to the high. What do you got around there? You got the 0.5. I digs it. 0.382 is actually interesting as well. Even though it's just below the range demand. Look at this last little low here before it took off. And then having, you know, this area of resistance as well, kind of aligned with the 0.382. 50 SMA continues to work its way up. I don't know, man. That might be a better, I'm not going to say a better opportunity, but that might be where it bounces. if it continues its way down. Just want to see how has it actually. Yeah, I mean, it respects the 200. So I know that I've just learned I have about an hour and a half of music and then it goes away. That's how you know you've been on too long. All right, got it. Yeah, 230 to 244. I mean, in that area for Apple might be a nice spot to see that balance. I mean, you can just see it's been following this channel for a really, really long time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that would be an area for Apple I'd be keeping an eye on, 230 to 240. So it looks like a lot of stocks are getting hit, huh? Gold. I love gold.
I love gold.
I mean, it's hard to even do TA on that. I don't even know if CVD really works for that, but up. That's your TA. Up. Coming back down though, retesting the high of the range here at about 34 to 35, about 3,500. Always something I like to see. And of course, you do have the 200 SMA kind of close to that area. You do have some volume there. You can see when it was consolidating in that range as well. So, retesting the top of the range, 3,500. Yeah. That might be an area to look for in terms of if you're trying to get into a position. I personally wouldn't buy like here, even if you're going to hold it for a long time, sure, have at it. But if you're looking for a trade, say around about 3,500 might be a spot. And that would kind of continue, right? If you're looking at the structure of the move, right? It's always really important to me too. Is like, let's look at the structure. Let's kind of see, does that kind of keep the narrative going in terms of structure? And I would say, yeah. Might even be a little higher. You may have to go as high as 30, 36 and a half. But I like that better in terms of retesting the top of the range. Let's see here. Yeah. So understanding what's going on with gold is kind of important too, right? Like, yeah, I've mentioned it here on the show, but one of the things like with gold right now is there's a run on it because there's countries that are trying to get as much as they can. And they've been trying to do that for probably a few years now, probably like 4 or 5 years in the background. And what they're trying to do essentially is use gold as like the backing for deals, right? So instead of using the US dollar, you heard me talk about this before, they're trying to use gold, right? And they're not only, there's more to it than, I thought they were kind of just accumulating and keeping it in their own country. They're not. They're like, hey, like as like kind of like a good faith like investment too, we will keep the gold at in your country as well. So they're building these facilities to hold this gold, and like they'll keep it at whatever country they're making a deal with it as well. So very interesting. And like, hey, they can back their currency with that. So it's very, very interesting, and it's not great for the dollar, to be honest with you. It's not a US, not good for the US. Even though the US theoretically holds the most gold, so we say. Who knows? Let's see. Just backtrack and look at Arrow real quick. Yeah. A lot of things are moving. It's looking good out there. Look at BNB not doing anything though. Interesting. Oh, Popcat. That's a FD White special right there, baby. Look at Popcat real quick. Oh, God. Nope. Not for me, bro. No way, Jose. Yikes. That's bad. That's bad. You're getting, I mean, your swing low off of coming on a blowfin off the exchange, right? Or on the exchange. You're like, you're below it. That's going to be a hard pass for me. I mean, I guess you got some upside potential, but I just, that's going to be a no for me. Let's see. Get Solana real quick. That's holding. Hey, I was talking about this. Being above that 121. It's happy place. It's the happy place for Solana. I don't know why it is, but just over and over and over and over again. That's its happy place in terms of support. So, I mean, if we get a turnaround in the market, that'll be a good thing for Solana. You're probably looking at coming up to, I'd say about 144, 140, 144. That's on the daily. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, it looks like it wants to flip the 50 off. No, that's not the 50. That's 200. It's, we got to update that down. 300. There we go. So there you go. It's getting close. Getting an ascending level of support right there as well. Yeah, I think that's a realistic move for Sol back up to about 142, 143. And you'll get that break, right? That might be opening up some doors for Solana to see a nice little run. Obviously, the rest of the market has to cooperate. CBD, yeah, there you go. It's kind of following the price action. Nothing too crazy. Bricks is backed by gold. Yeah, man. Like there's a big turn to metals right now. You know, I think silver too, right? The projection for, you know, the industrial commercial like usage of silver, like it's just projected to go up. Like I think by like 39%. So if you have something that is, I'm not going to say there's going to be more limited quantities as as we continue to build, right? Especially like if you're like putting in all this money into like computer chips and all that, that seems to be the hotness, and computers in general, and still building like military applications and infrastructure around the world. Like I don't see them using any less silver, right? So like the more finite, the more demand, that should theoretically drive the price up. So theoretically. So I don't like really trade silver or gold, but I have accumulated it since I was a kid. I've always collected coins. That's always been my thing. So I have like a ton of coins. But let's look at night. I know y'all were trading night. I got a nice little bounce real close to the 618. Remember I was talking about that when I was up here? I was like, hey man, a lot of things come down to the 618 around I was saying about 7 cents. Nice little bounce out of that area for night. That's good. It's actually good. And with Cardano having a nice bounce, right? Those things should be kind of intertwined in my mind. Look at that though. I mean, that looks healthy, right? You get a lot of people that jump in, get on the hype, right? Get on the hype train here. That's why you get that explosive move to the upside. When something's running, people want to jump in and play, and then they just cash out real quick. But I mean, look at that. The climb is healthy. Definitely healthy. Something I'm gonna invest in. I don't know about that, but here or there, she don't look terrible. it's good to see that bounce, right? Like it didn't just come down here and just start ranging, consolidating. Like you got a healthy bounce out of that. Volume is like dwindling though. That you don't want to see. Look at that. Just slowly going down. Cool. I think I'm gonna bounce. Fiat is banker trash. We should be looking into mining companies in Canada and the US since China now cut off their exports. Silver is a byproduct of gold mining. Yeah, man. Yeah, that export thing, not ideal either, right? So they're getting rid of trading with the US dollars. They're getting rid of that. And yeah, now they're cutting off the exports. It's kind of interesting, man. It's there's definitely gonna be issues, I think, in the future. All good. All right. Who else we got? We got JR in here. What up, dude? Hope all is well with you, man. Yeah, DDT, for sure. You need to go punch somebody with MMT. DDT gonna punch MMT, boy. All right. Cool. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope everybody has a good day. Enjoy the new year. Do something special. Much love to you guys. B Team Crypto, love you, man. Thank you for being here as well. I'm gonna get out of here. So y'all take it easy. Much love to you. As always, trade safe, be safe. I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.